This video is sponsored by JP Fans. Okay, so what you are looking at here is the Daily Bugle broken down into all of its walls, floors, and platforms. This is 11 different pieces, I believe, 11 or 10, minus the prop pieces that are right over there. Apologies for the kind of slapdash setup here. This thing's huge. I do not have enough room to make this look more professional, set up on the ground like this. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what it would look like with it broken down into pieces like this. So we'll quickly go through each piece. This is obviously the very bottom sidewalk. There was originally going to be an inside section. I decided not to go with that just because I ran out of time. This was due out at the end of January, so I had to be mindful of how much time it would take me to finish this piece. So I had to cut out a few sections and bits of it. Regardless, I think it turned out pretty well. Unfortunately, none of the doors, like the doors here for the front, they don't actually work. They're glued in. They were originally going to work, and there was going to be an inside section, but again, I had to cut it for time. I didn't want to not be finished the piece because it had to be ready for the con. I built this for Action Figure Comic Con. I was commissioned to build this by Danny Green. He contacted me and asked me if I could join a team of Dio builders. So all 5 of us made our own building. I'll put all their links in the description, everything like that. Everyone I worked with was just an amazing builder, like really fantastic people. They did some great work, and we had a really nice setup that hopefully maybe you've even seen on Instagram. That whole con did really, really well. They did a great job setting everything up. All the links will be in the description for everybody involved. But anyway, regardless of that, let's just go through the pieces really quick. So this piece is the front of the building. You got I think this is either the left or right side of the building. I can't remember which one. This is the corresponding piece to that. This is the back of the building. Obviously the main like sidewalk area. This is just a platform that sits in the first portion of the building that sits on top here. That platform sits here. And then the rest of the large portion of the building, so the right, left, back, and front of the building, they all sit on these pieces here. Daily Bugle sign, there's a fan that I built, and all these pieces here. These are all 3D printed and designed by me. All these little sort of vent pieces. This is all 3D printed minus this fan, which is actually a PC fan that I just happen to have. I have a bunch of spare parts, and it actually works as well. It'd be nice to put a grate over top of this, but I didn't get around to doing it. And yeah, these are all just 3D printed pieces that I designed in Tinkercad. Even this as well is a 3D printed piece I designed in Tinkercad. That's the top of the roof. There's just some piping that goes on the side of the building. And then this is the front of the building. Again, this is 3D printed. The front portion is, but the elevated platform is not 3D printed. These pieces are 3D printed though. So a lot of 3D printing went into this. Like all these windows and everything are 3D printed. Yeah man, overall like this project was a bit of a pain for me. The planning on my part was not great because I kind of just started building without really an idea of exactly what it was going to look like in the end. Like I knew I was going to do a Daily Bugle building. I didn't want to do the Raimiverse Flatiron building, so I decided on just kind of doing my own thing. looking at reference images like from the comics and stuff like that, getting an idea of what I would think the Daily Bugle would look like in a comic style. Overall, like, I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out. I had to redo a few sections of it just because, again, like, I really didn't go in with a plan. That's the biggest issue. If I don't have a plan, a lot of this stuff ends up taking a lot longer than it should. So, you know, if you're getting into building dioramas, I really recommend that you put a plan together before you start building, like draw something out, which is what I normally do. But just, you know, sometimes I get so excited for something, I put the cart before the horse and don't really take my time with it and be methodical, which is, it's a better way of working for me. It just ends up working out better in the long run when I do that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod and we are going to put this thing together. But before we do that, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, and that's JP Fans. If you're like me, you likely collect a ton of import action figures, and you probably know how difficult it could be to find them in North America at a reasonable price. A lot of the best deals are exclusive to Japanese markets that don't ship internationally or are locked behind insane prices. That's where JP Fans comes in. JP Fans is a proxy shopping service that lets you buy items directly from Japanese sites and have them shipped anywhere in the world. You place your order through them, they receive the item in their warehouse, and then they ship it directly to you. One thing I really like about JP Fans is that every item goes through a warehouse quality inspection. That means that when the item arrives at their warehouse, they actually check the item to make sure everything is good before they ship it out to you. It's a really nice extra layer of protection, especially when you buy a lot of action figures like me. Right now, there's also some great discounts going on. You can get 50% off items from Mercari, which is one of the best places to get collectibles and secondhand items in Japan. On top of that, JP Fans is currently offering 15% off international shipping, which could save you a lot when importing action figures. And if you want to try it out for yourself, you could register using my affiliate code in the description or in my link tree. And if you sign up through my link, you'll receive an $86 coupon that you could use towards your purchase. So if you're looking for Mafex, SHF, or any other import collectibles, JP Fans makes the whole process easier. Check out the link in my description and receive your $86 coupon today. Thank you so much, JP Fans, for sponsoring today's video, and back to the video. Okay, so this is the sidewalk section of the diorama. I cut the square through the foam just so I could fit my light through it. Windows are cut out of action figure packaging. What I did was I just glued them in on the back, and then on the back side, flipped it over on each one of these pieces that have windows on it. I just airbrushed an acrylic white mixture paint just to give it like a foggy window look. That way the light can illuminate through it. So anyway, this is the back section. Pretty much everything sticks on with magnets other than the top portion. This is one of the walls. This is the side section wall. And then the right wall is right here. So this is the top section. And if you look underneath, this is just like craft foam that you buy at the dollar store. Like, the reason I use this stuff is just because it's a lot cheaper than the pink insulation foam. And for areas like this, like the rooftop, I have no problem using it because it's, again, it just gets covered in this gravel and glue mixture that I made. And just to add some stability, I put some wood at the bottom. And it's really sturdy, like it's not gonna break or go anywhere. And there's toothpicks on each side, or like the thicker toothpicks. And those just go into these holes that are built in here. Right, so now that top section is on, this is the first platform. See, it's pretty sturdy, it's not going anywhere. Here's the front section of the building. This front section just fits in like so. Well, not quite like so. Now that's fully assembled, and that's the first portion of the building there. This gave me a lot of troubles actually putting this together. My print bed is not very big, so I had to split this into two sections. And then I just plastic welded it together, and I put some auto body filler on that, sanded it down, and it came out relatively well. And I decided to go with sort of a gold trim kind of look to match with the gold frames of the doors. Next up is the top section of the building. Okay, so these are all the pieces for the top section of the building, and this one's put together a little bit differently. There are dowel rods on either side. I should have used magnets, but I didn't because I don't know why, to be honest with you. I could have just went to the hardware store and got magnets, but I decided to do this instead. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to put together, but it still goes together pretty well. So you have to match up all 3 sections. And then you see that went in pretty easy. There's these frames here because this was going to have 3 levels originally, but I ended up scrapping that because, like I said, I didn't have enough time. So I ended up just doing a facade building with no interior sections, which, you know, is a bit of a bummer, but you have to manage your time, especially when you have a client who's looking to get their dio at a specific time, or in this case for it had to be ready for a show. This is the other section. So this goes in here like so. And there we go. So that went together pretty easily. So this back section goes in here. There's actually a magnet on the inside here on each side, and then the dowel rods just hold it in place. The magnets don't necessarily have to be there, but I just put them in for more stability. Because I'm using dowel rods and not magnets, this doesn't just stick in nicely. I actually kind of have to finagle it in there. But there it is, see? So it came together. And then there's the top section. It's pretty light. That's the front? Is it the front? No, it's the back. This is the front. They look the same, so it's kind of arbitrary, but so the roof section is made out of this cheap white foam that you can get at the dollar store. And I've added some stability on top just so that it wouldn't warp when I was painting it as well, because whenever you paint this stuff, like with really thick layers of acrylic, it tends to warp and bow and bend in. This section goes on like that, and it just sits comfortably inside of it. This is the Daily Bugle sign. This is all 3D printed material. I designed this all in Tinkercad. It was relatively simple to design. I think I actually took the hinge design from the bottom portion of the Daily Bugle and just stretched it and then multiplied it by however many are here, and then added a bar in the middle, and then obviously each letter. And these are all printed separately with the letter down flat on the print bed, and there's like a little peg on each one of these that peg into the back frame of this thing. I feel like I'm making it sound more complicated than it actually is, but it was relatively simple. It was just annoying to put together because it's so thin, and I did use PLA, so it's like not the strongest print material, but it just pegs into the back. There's 2 pegs on either side, and it pegs in right there. And then for the side of the building, we have these little pipes that just peg in like so here, like that. Relatively simple. And then the top of the building, just add some roof vents, stuff that you would see on the top of buildings. Roof vents, pipes, and other things. And then to finish off the front of the building, so there's these little things here. They're supposed to be like spotlights. Whatever piece that I took this bottom portion off of has a magnet inside of it, and there's a magnet here. So it actually magnetizes to the top, which is cool. I didn't realize that was the case until I put it together. But yeah. And then obviously the spotlights need an actual light on the inside of them, so I have these little lights that I bought off Amazon. Oh, you can see it pretty well there on camera. I built this top section, just that cylinder in Tinkercad. Just took the measurements from this and then built around it. And that worked out pretty well. You can't actually, they're really hard to take out, like by hand. So I have this magnet here, and then that's how I pop out those pieces. It's the jankiest setup, but I mean it works well. So that's how that works. And then there's our top roof put together. So we're gonna pop that on the top of the building with a piece of resistance. We're gonna add the top section here. Okay, so here is the dio fully set up. It stands at 44 inches tall, and it's 30 by 30. So it's pretty large. Like it's a big diorama, but definitely the biggest I've ever made so far. But you know, I think all things considered, it turned out pretty well. You can see I got the lights illuminating inside of it. We're gonna turn off the lights in here in just a second to take a look at it in the dark in all its glory. Because I feel like this thing would be great for toy photography, just in general. Like there's a lot you could do with it, especially, you know, taking apart the walls and everything. You could almost make it into like 3 or 4 different buildings. Oh, I added in some crunched up Daily Bugle newspapers as well. Just, you know, for some more props and stuff like that. Front of the building, you see the light, looks nice on the inside. We're gonna head to the middle section of the building. Again, the nice little rooftop vents there. And then again, all these 3D printed windows that are just kind of, they're just kind of glued in. And then these sections are kind of built the same way. You could see the seam there. So this section comes out, and then there's a little bit more brick behind it, which you can't really see very well. It's all hidden relatively well, I feel like. The only issue is you do get some gapping in some areas. Like you can see there's a little bit of gapping there. That's not too bad. But this back section keeps gapping on me for whatever reason. Yeah, you can see that's not the best. That should be closed like that. But unfortunately, we do get a big gap there, which is not the biggest deal in the world. And on that side, it's pretty good. You can see the lights pretty well back here. Sorry about the way I'm showing you this. I know it's kind of slapdash, not really put together super well. But I just wanted to get this all in frame. And I wanted to give you guys a good idea of how I put this together. You can see the nice light setup there. And then the Daily Bugle sign in all its glory. And then here is the top of the roof. See the vents set up. And then you got those vents back there, or sorry, the smokestacks, I guess you would call them, back there, which is pretty cool. And I printed these out at Staples and glued them on just to give the building a little bit more detail. You see there's one on each side, and then the back has one as well that's different from the ones on either side. See right there? And this is the lip that holds the top of the building in place. So you can see if I lift that, you can see there's a little ledge for it to sit on nicely. And that continues on to right here. I added in this lip with foam as well. Just to have it, you know, sit properly on top of this. Whoa! Fuck! Okay, we set the light back up. Jesus. I mean, you can see it didn't scratch the paint at all, which is good. What else can I show you here? Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you a sense of scale. So here is the Mayfix Spidey. Throw them on the top of the building here. And there's your sense of scale for how tall this thing is. So yeah, it's a behemoth. It's pretty big. So we're going to grab the Mezco Mr. Fantastic, throw them on here, and then you can see the scale of this thing. Like, it is pretty damn big. It's a big old dial. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing, man. That's the whole dial. So now we're gonna dim the lights here and take a look at this thing in the dark. Yeah, I think that's my time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Check out the link in the description for my website. I put out a new product line of prop packs that are dropping this week, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again, JP Fans, for sponsoring this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.